I'm going to explain to you how to lose belly fat. If you have a protruding belly and you want to get rid of it, the first thing you need to understand is this belly fat is stored energy. And there are two sources of energy that you can use. You can use fat and you can use carbs. A protruding belly is characterized by this kind of fat right here. This is called visceral fat. This is a dangerous fat that actually surrounds your liver and your organs. This is the hard, firm type of fat that actually causes that protruding belly. We want to talk about how we can use that fat for fuel and burn that fat. When we eat food, the energy in that food turns into blood sugar that goes up in our body. When blood sugar goes up, our pancreas cranks out insulin, and that goes up along with it. Now, insulin's job is to take all this blood sugar and actually drive it into our cells. Whether it's a muscle cell or a fat cell, insulin takes all this blood sugar and it pushes it into the necessary cell. So if you have a little bit of fat, insulin will take that blood sugar and make that fat cell grow bigger and bigger and bigger. So whenever insulin is high, it signals to our body to store fat and fill up those fat cells. As you run out of room in your subcutaneous fat, the fat then begins to be stored in the visceral fat. And when this gets out of control, it leads to metabolic syndromes like type 2 diabetes and a bunch of other problems. As insulin does its job, the blood sugar will start to go down. And then insulin will start to go down too. When insulin goes down, our fat cells can actually get smaller. When insulin is low, our body's able to actually use this fat as an energy source and shrink the fat cell. The problem for most of us is when our blood sugar goes down, we start to feel hungry. So we eat again, and then our blood sugar goes back up again. So instead of insulin coming down and us burning fat, our body then has to crank out more insulin to keep up with this blood sugar. And so we don't actually burn fat. We end up storing more fat as our insulin goes up. If our goal is to shrink our fat and get rid of our visceral fat, we need to allow the insulin to come down. Sometimes these breaks can be 4 hours in between meals or 8 hours in between meals. And overnight, it can be 16 to 18 hours without much effort. And during these breaks, your body is going to be able to tap into this belly fat and use it as energy. If you are anything like me, the thought of taking breaks from food sounds almost daunting and impossible. So in this video on my profile, I share exactly what I did to break my addiction to food and get rid of my belly fat. And this is what I looked like back in July and what I look like now.